Hey, what's up, Dividend Nomads? Right now, the market has been very volatile with all the stuff going on in the world. Uh, the conflict in Iran right now, the rising oil prices, all these things are affecting the market, and the market has been going down. And my portfolio has been also, but not extreme. It's been doing basically exactly what the market is doing, which I'm okay with that as long as I'm getting income each and every single week, which I am because of the way I'm invested. So today I'm going to take you guys into the portfolio, share with you what's in the portfolio, share with you guys how much I got paid and how I'm performing, along with the markets, and share with you guys my S&P 500 income strategy. So let's record the screen on the phone and dive in and get started. Let's see. Three, two, one, bam. All right. Let's open up Charles Schwab. I'll refresh it for you guys right now. This is 9:10 in the morning here in China, so the market is closed. You can see the Dow was down 0.25%, Nasdaq almost 1%, and the S&P was down just over 0.5%. And my portfolio was down about 0.25%. So we're kind of doing a little bit better than S&P and the Nasdaq, and we're slightly better than the Dow, but pretty much in line with the Dow. So we're following the markets, but not as bad. $76,938 is my portfolio value, and view all the positions here. You can see we've got XDTE, which is the Round Hill S&P 500 zero DTE cover call ETF. I got 1,116 shares of this. So this is basically daily income on the S&P 500, but it pays each and every week though. But they're selling options daily. Okay, the next one I have is SGov, 150 shares of this. This is basically emergency cash in case of a market crash. Now this is an emergency right now. We're not in a market crash. We're not even in correction territory yet. Right? Correction territory is like 10 or 15%. We're not even there yet. So we're not even in correction, let alone bear market territory or crash territory. And that's what this is for. This is for a crash. So I can get in at the very extreme bottom in the event of a crash. And I can make a lot of money on the way up. So that's just sitting here for that purpose only. Next, I have SPYI, which is the NEOS S&P 500 cover call ETF. Now this is slightly different than the XDTE one because XDTE is zero DTE. It's like daily cover calls. And SPYI is a standard cover call strategy. They're doing like weekly or further out of the money cover calls. And so this one has a little bit more growth baked in, but we have 141 shares of this. And then next, I have MAGY, MAGY, which is Round Hill's Magnificent 7 cover call ETF. Now, again, this isn't zero DTE, but this is regular cover calls on the Magnificent 7 or on the MAGS, which is Magnificent 7 ETF. Why this one? The Magnificent 7 are the top stocks in the entire stock market, which means they're at the top of the S&P 500. They're at the top of the NASDAQ, right? The top stocks in the NASDAQ are in the S&P 500. So they're all in the S&P 500. But these are the top ones, and they've been beat up very bad. And I think once this conflict is over, money is going to start coming back to big tech, which is, your Apples and Nvidias and Microsoft and all that stuff. Money's going to come back there, I believe. And so I believe this will be okay. But it's not a large position either, as you can see. And then lastly, I have Schwab's SCHX, again, which is the top 750 stocks in the stock market. So it's basically the S&P 500 plus the next 250. And if you put this on the chart next to, say, Vanguard's VOO, the performance is exactly the same. So SCHX is here, and this is for growth. This doesn't really, it has a small dividend, but I'm not in this for the dividend. I'm in this for the growth. So it can kind of get the growth side of the S&P 500 that the cover call ETFs don't get because they're capped to the upside, where this is not. This is just straight growth. So this kind of offsets that capped upside portion of the portfolio. And then lastly, I've got $703 in cash. So now that you know what's actually in the portfolio, I'll take you guys here into the spreadsheet And we'll look at the performance of this thing and check out how much we've gotten paid so far this month. Like I said, this does pay me each and every single week though. But yeah, let's record the screen here. New screen recording. 3, 2, 1. Bam. All right. So here we are in the spreadsheet where I keep track of the performance here. We've got on the left here, you can see it, the blue box around it, XDTE, MAGI, SPYI, SGOV, SHX, the same thing I just shared with you guys in the portfolio. Here's the number of shares here with the blue box around it there in the middle yellow portion. And my cost averages here. All that's right there. And I'm not going to look at the day change and all that because you guys, we've already kind of seen this in the market. But we're going to see how this is performing is the main thing in the allocation of these. So if we look here at XDTE, the market return is negative 7.5%. And the total return is a positive 15%. You can see my portfolio allocation. I have 53% of the portfolio in this play. All right. So the next one we have here is MAGI, which again is the Magnificent Seven. They've been very beat up lately. So this one is not performing very well. You can see it's down 11.6% and down 5% on the total return. But these are the top stocks in the stock market. Like I said, I believe money's going to come back here. So I'm just going to let it do its thing for right now. I'm not really adding to the position other than what's on the reinvestment program, right? All these positions right now are on drip. And actually, I should mention that really fast. Basically, two ways to invest or to live out of your portfolio or whatever you want to call it in this type of situation, right? So, number one, you can take the dividends out and live off of it, and your capital, like your portfolio value, will go down because the market's going down. And it's going to struggle to come back up because most of these are covered call ETFs. Not all of them, though. I do have the growth one there for the purpose of growth. But the other thing you can do is what I'm actually doing right now is just turn the drip on, let the dividends stay in the portfolio, buy more, average down, follow the markets down, and have another source of income to live off of during this time. Now, me, myself, I have saved 3 years worth of living expenses in cash for this exact situation. I have money to live off of, and I don't have to lose my portfolio value. I can keep adding to it and averaging down, so I can do what the market does instead of watching my capital deplete. And then I know what you're thinking, but you're spending your savings. Yeah, it is 3 years worth of savings though. And then once the market does turn around, because the market doesn't fall for 3 years. Usually, like if we're in a bear market, even a bear market on average can last 11 months. So that's 1 year basically. So I spend a year worth of living expenses, worst case scenario. But when the market does turn around and things start going good again, this isn't the money that I earn out of this portfolio isn't my budget, right? It's way above my budget. So I can still take that money out of the portfolio and put it back in my living expenses fund and replenish that while also living out of the portfolio. So that's how I like to manage mine, is that way. Anyway, now you know that. SPYI there, down 4%. Total return down 2.35%. Then we have the SGOV. This is my emergency crash cash. It's hard to say, emergency crash cash. So if there's a crash, I can take this money and buy the crash. You need powder, dry powder. You need money to buy that dip when that thing goes, if it does go. And that's 19% of the portfolio. A big chunk of the portfolio is right there waiting for that emergency situation. SCHX, 3.76% on the market and total returns. I haven't received any dividends from this yet because this is a relatively new position. So you can see that's 7.6% of the portfolio. So the biggest position there is my S&P 500 weekly income, and the second biggest position is my cash emergency crash position, and then the rest are just supplementary S&P 500 positions. Okay, so now that you know that, let's check out the dividend log and see the payments this thing has made recently. So let's see, that's 2025. Here we go, 2026. So you can see in January, XETE paid me $2,700. That was a special dividend, though. That's not the normal case, right? February, we had lower dividends all February again because they were trying to keep the NAV stable. So this 600 is not the normal case either. It's usually around 1,000 or more per month from this one ETF. March, so far we've received 2 payments in March so far, last week and this week. So those combined is $334. And what's today? Let me see this. Let's see, 1, 2. We'll get 2. Yeah, only 2 more payments. We'll get 2 more payments from XDTE this month. So again, we may very likely be around this same range here like we were last time, this $600 or so. Maggie, $71.08 so far this month. Again, that's is that 2 payments, I believe. 1, 2, yeah, only 2 payments, but we will get 3 more payments from Maggie. So Maggie should be over this mark. It should be closer to like $180 or so. SPYI has not paid me yet. I think their dividends towards the end of the month. I can't remember the date, but it is at the end of the month. SGov has paid me already $40.86. Now SCHX does have a small dividend, and they do pay quarterly, which means this month we will get a payment because there's 4 quarters in a year, right? So every 3 months you're going to get a payment from this, and this one should pay in March. If I look back here, I don't have it in this portfolio, but pretty sure they paid in December, so it should be paying this month as well. I believe it's towards the end of the month, so I have that coming. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more payments coming this month, which we're still waiting to receive. But so far in this particular portfolio, we've made $446 in income for the month of March. So yeah, not much, but we're definitely on track to get this 884 or more again, and probably going to be closer to 1,000 probably. But we'll see. We still got a few weeks left to figure that out. So anyway, what's my plan right now in terms of what's going on in the world right now? We really don't know. There's so much news coming out. It's like every single time the president makes a statement or a tweet or a truth, whatever you want to call it, or comes on TV, he says something to calm the markets down. The markets go up, and then people out of Iran make comments, or somebody else's news comes out that things aren't going the way the president says they're going. The market goes down. It's too much back and forth flip-flopping. So for me personally, I'm just trying to stay calm and not make any drastic decisions. I'm just watching the markets every day, because I am actually doing some day trading in my other account. So I'm definitely watching the markets and the news, headlines, and all this stuff every single day. I add a little bit to the positions here and there on the down days, because I did have a little bit of cash there. Just buy a couple of shares here and there when they're down. Portfolio's on drip. And I'm just trying to weather the storm, right? Wait it out and watch closely. And I am prepared to buy in if there is an emergency situation. So I have all those things in my mind right now in terms of what I'm watching and what I'm doing. I'm not looking to make any special moves. I'm not trying to. Now, people are saying, buy oil, this and that. I'm not trying to buy oil right now, especially at this prices. The price of oil is, with all the conflicting headlines we're seeing, the war could end this weekend, and then oil prices would plummet, and then you lost money. And then if you don't buy oil and the war doesn't end, and the oil price rise, then again you missed out on the thing. But for me, I feel like that's too much gambling, and I'm not trying to gamble with my hard-earned money. So I just sit on the sideline, stay in the entire market via S&P 500, and weather the storm until I get something that shows like a clear direction. When's the clarity come in? When is the war actually officially over? And then I'll be looking at these big tech stocks like Magnificent Seven stocks and things like that, because they've been heavily beat down, and I think that's a good place to look for. But right now I would also be wary of that because we don't know how long this is going to go on for. So stay up to date on everything, guys. Keep an eye on the news, see what's going on, so you can get a better idea of what's going on in your portfolio. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, though. Tell me in the comments below, what are you thinking about this conflict in terms of investing? Like, is there anything particular you're investing in? I know a lot of people are talking about investing in defense stocks, but we should call them offense stocks because let's be real, we're on the offense lately. We're not playing defense anymore. We're on the offense. We're been on offense for a while now. But yeah, the defense sector, the ones who make the guns and the bombs and the ammunition, yeah, they're probably going to do good for a while because after this war is over, they're going to have to replenish their stockpile of ammunitions. So, those might be a good place to look in some type of ETF that covers that sector possibly. Maybe in like an oil ETF, like XLE could be a good investment. Not just after oil prices fall, but they start producing more oil, you still got to refine the oil, right? And the oil ETFs have the refineries in there and all these things. So that could also be a place to look to maybe invest some money. But for me, I just like to keep it simple and stick with S&P 500 and just do what the market does. That's good enough for me. I'm not trying to make any home run, get rich quick plays. If I need some extra income, I will look for, via day trading because I'm pretty decent at it. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Love to hear yours down below. And look forward to seeing you guys next time, man. You can come join us in the Discord or jump on the newsletter. I do have a free guide. You can get that for free. All the links and stuff's down below. Check all that out. And I got to go to the gym. So I'll see you guys next time. Y'all take care.